back to the channel. This is MTG Ghoul Dude, and I wanted to share with you guys my Sarulf Wolf Tribal deck. This is Sarulf the Realm Eater. He is the commander for one generic, a black, and a green. It is a 3/3 wolf, and whenever his abilities are, whenever a permanent an opponent controls is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on Sarulf Realm Eater. At the beginning of your upkeep, if Sarulf has one or more +1/+1 counters on it, you may remove all of them. So you can't just remove the ones you want. If you do, exile each other non-land permanent with the converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of counters removed this way. So this is really good in like all removal based decks. If you're gonna go that strategy with him, this is really good. But I did not go this route. I wanted to go with wolves. So let's get into the ramp to start it off. We have Farseek, Into the North, Nature's Lore, Rampant Growth, 3 Visits, Cultivate, Ronus's Monument, because I consider this ramp because we are playing a majority of green creature spells and green in general. So this is going to buff up our creatures, and I consider mana reduction, or cost reduction, make it ramp. So Harrow, Kodama's Reach, and Sky Shroud Claim, because we do have lands in the deck that are forests that aren't basics. So now into the theme of the deck. Starting out with Snarling Wolf, Young Wolf, Packsong Pup, Persistent Wolf, Quilled Wolf, Sporeback Wolf, Wandering Wolf, Arlen's Wolf, Bounding Wolf, Direwolf Prowler, Ferocious Pup, Lone Wolf. Sacred Wolf is actually pretty good because it has hexproof without just making it spell it out all the way. Sarulf Partisan is a good wolf in the deck because not only does it have trample, but whenever our wolves become the target of instant or sorcery spells, we make a wolf. So if we're in a board state where, yeah, that wolf was kind of nice, but we're still going to need all the wolves we need on the board, unless it's a board wipe, we could probably lump through it. Anara makes our commanders indestructible on our turn. Carrion Wolf. This is probably one of the few black good wolves that we have, besides the one that recently came out, and I'm still considering putting that one in from Lord of the Rings. But it's also a zombie, so you know I had to find a way to put zombies in it. Nightpack Ambusher is a lord, and it makes a wolf if we didn't cast a spell last turn. Somber Walled Alpha. Hallowhinge Overlord is really good, especially if you can make it to the next upkeep, or you can flash it in right at the beginning of your next upkeep, or some of your opponent's instep right before your turn, because it's just going to double your wolves. It's just really good value. Arlen, Voice of the Pack. Each wolf or werewolf you control enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. It's really good. Primal Rage to give us trample. Ranger class makes a wolf, puts a counters on attacking creatures, and you can later on, when you level it up, you get to look at the top card, and if it's a creature spell, you can cast it. Alpha status gives gives a creature +2/+2 for each other creature in play that shares a type with it, and it does count other players. So you can end up getting even bigger if someone else just happens to play wolves. But this is in my opinion, this belongs in any deck that's a little more casual, but really relies on the commander or the creature type. Howling Moon. Howlpack Resurgent has flash and is a anthem. Raised by Wolves Gives a creature +1/+1 for each wolf you control, and it makes 2 wolves, so it's automatically a +2/+2 buff. Unnatural regrowth just makes all of our creatures big on everybody's combat. Patriarch's bidding is going to get us all of our wolves back if they all die. Howl of the Night Pack. We are running a decent amount of force in this deck, so I figured why not throw in Howl of the Night Pack. Howl from Beyond is another theme pick, not only because it's a wolf in the art, but it actually is great for messing with other people's combats. So if somebody is almost going to kill somebody, just finish them off. And Moon Mist, because we are running wolves, and we want our wolves to deal damage, but we don't want other stuff to deal damage. So let's get into the card advantage section, starting with dig up, because we're werewolves, so we're gonna dig through the dirt. Hunter's Insight, Painful Lesson, Read the Bones, Succumb to Temptation, Ambition's Cost, Harmonize, Hunter's Prowess, Return of the Wild Speaker, and Shamanic Revelation. Now we're going to move into the removal category with Tainted Strike. I consider Tainted Strike removal, especially if you can give it, and it doesn't have to be your creature. It could be any creature, as long as it's a target creature. So this is another one of those combat tricks that you could use on your opponents. Blizzard Brawl, Windstorm for those pesky flyers, Feed the Swarm, Go for the Throat, Back to Nature. This destroys all enchantments, which does benefit us if there's a lot of enchantments and we have Sarulf on the board. He just gets huge. Heroic Intervention is really good, and that one has something on the sleeve, and that's why it looks like that. But I consider Protection just as good as removal, because if your board is now protected and it's not exiled, you now have the ability to crack back. So just as good. Assassin's Trophy. Culling Ritual is really good, especially if you play it on curve and you're playing against a bunch of decks that have a lot of low power stuff. It's actually pretty good. Death Sprout, Putrefy, Garruk, Cursed Huntsman is theme and removal, and it makes all of our creatures bigger later on, because it makes two 2/2s, destroys a creature to draw a card, and an anthem if you can ultimate him. And then Garruk's Wake. In Garruk's Wake, destroys all of our opponent's creatures. And now we're going to get into the non-basic lands, starting out with Evolving Wilds, Terramorphic Expanse, Myriad Landscape, Fabled Passage, Crystal Vein, Temple of the False God, Barren Moor, Tranquil Thicket, Rogue's Passage, Encroaching Wastes, Command Tower, Opal Palace, Llanowar Wastes, Nurturing Peatland, Temple of Malady, Undergrowth Stadium, Woodland Cemetery, and Woodland Chasm. But that's going to be it for today, guys. I really appreciate everybody that likes, comments, subscribes. If you have any suggestions for this deck to upgrade it a little more, let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deck tech, like it. Come on, just drop a like. If you're not subscribed up to this far, subscribe. Doesn't take that much time. It's nice, simple, and easy. And if you're going to keep watching, why not? But that is going to be it for today, guys. I really appreciate it. I can't say it enough. I really appreciate everybody. that help support me on this channel. But I will see you guys next time in the graveyard.